Hello and welcome to Survive the Wild. I'm out here today in the woods again. I've had to very quickly throw up the tarp because it started raining a bit earlier than what it was forecast. And then the second thing I had to do was spray myself with jungle formula insect repellent because the midges have come out in quite a big way now. We've just recently had a spell of really dry weather, and over the last few days it's been quite damp, and that dry weather I think had delayed like the second hatch. I know it certainly did up in Scotland, and it certainly has down around here, but now yeah, they're swarming round, and the more I'm talking, the more of a cloud of them I'm getting in front of me. So they're attracted by the carbon dioxide and your body heat. But anyway, so I thought today what I'd do is I'll do a couple of videos. I'll probably break them up. The first one is that I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to make a pot hanger. Now, looking around here, there's very little dead standing wood, and I've not seen anything that's going to be appropriate, so I am going to have to take one small tree, a sapling. I will look for one where it has everything I need within that one small sapling, and also I'm going to try and look for one where it's very close to another and that it's rubbing over it or it's going to interfere with it at some point. So if I take out one of those small trees, I'll actually be doing the other tree a favour. I don't particularly like taking living trees, but sometimes, you know, it needs must, and but I always try and do it very sensitively and logically. Think about what the resource that I'm taking and appreciate that resource. So anyway, I'm just gonna have a wander down there and find the selected tree. I think I've seen one already that's sort of within eyesight, which I think will be handy. So I'll go and grab that one. Okay, so I've just been out. Got my tree, which was literally just over there. Took it off about 2 inches from the base. Hopefully, cut it on a slant. So hopefully it might grow back up. So I'll just go through the components. So the tree that I was looking for, I wanted a fork in there, and that'll be for when it's driven in. That part will go on there, and then I'll make it so that this part will be the hanger. So just got to clean these up a little bit, just do a little bit of work to them to get them ready. This section here, I think I'll cut this, when I've done this, I'll cut this off, and this is going to be a slingshot. So I'm gonna reuse some of this, and might find a use for that as well. But anyway, so yeah. So the first thing I'm gonna do, just gonna get my knife, is I'm just gonna stake it. Just put a very simple point on the end. Oh, it's quite tough, this. Yeah, it doesn't have to be elaborate, as long as it, you get a point. It's really, you don't want to have to hammer this in too hard. Anyway, so that's, you get the idea. I'll refine that up a little bit more. So yeah, that'll go in like that, and then I'll run through the other bits and bobs. This is going to be the pot hanger. This will require a little bit more elaborate carving in as such as that I'll be making a V-notch, which I'll show you. I'll do that now, I think. Yeah. So, I say all I'm going to do here is put one there. Must be a bit deeper that. The more parallel you can get it with that, the better, really. So that's one. I think I'll put another one about here. And you want to get them pretty straight as well. You don't want to go too deep. Because there is a risk that you're going to go through the wood. That should do. And if you got, you can always use a longer piece of wood. Put as many as you need in. Because these are going to adjust the height of your pot. And just need to do a little bit more carving now. Okay, so remember that this is going to hang this way with your pot hanging off that. So with that in mind, the arrows here that are pointing down, they're the bits you want to keep. So what we're going to do is groove this out. I mean, really and truly, this, you probably want a thicker stick. Oh, these midges. Even though I've sprayed myself, doesn't stop them from buzzing around you, landing on you. Just all it does is when they want to bite you, as soon as they get the mouthpiece out, it just sort of deters them. They think, that tastes horrible. But apparently some of the midges up in Scotland are getting a bit more resistant to it. Which is a bit of a worry. Now, what I'm going to do here is at the bottom of that, I'm just going to put a little lip, but I'm going to take off that bit of bark. So, when you hang it, the bark's obviously going to be softer than the wood. So that bit there isn't going to give you any false hope, and it will make it more secure. That's pretty good. So that's what you're looking for. There, and then obviously with a weight on there, that'll keep it more central. So I'll just do the same up again there, and then I'll move on to the next stage. So the next step really is relatively simple. At one end, I go for the thinner end. You can go for the thicker end. Depends really on the thickness of the stick you're using. But you want to create like a screwdriver, like a flat-headed screwdriver. But you're going to want it flatter, or more flat on one side than the other. I mean, this is really straight. If you got one that was a bit more crooked, when you put it on here, just sort of like find the way that it naturally seems to fall. And actually, even though I said this is straight, when you twist it, it's higher at that end than it is at the lower end. So this is going to be the end that we're going to go for. And you want a nice flat surface that we're going to, we're going to taper. So, and then, you know, you do the same on the reverse. When it comes to pot hangers, I know I said that, you know, I'd like to use dead standing, but actually, really, when it comes to pot hangers, you do really need to use green wood, because, you know, this is a part of a structure that you're going to have next to a fire, and it's not going to burn like dead standing will, you know, if it's bone dry. So because this has got, you know, moisture in it, and you'd leave the bark on it, you know, it's going to last a lot longer than if you're using dead standing. So there are, you know, there are other things to use in dead standing, and but yeah. So anyway, I'm just going to do this, and then we're pretty much done. Well, there'll be one more thing to do, really. What I'm also going to do is, rain's coming in again. Not only am I sheltering under here from the rain, but so are the midges. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is, because that's pretty thin, I'm just going to shuffle off a little bit. Just take this bit of outer bark off here on the edge, clean it up a little bit. And round them corners off. So there's just one more thing to do with this now, and it is pretty much done. So that's essentially it. You know, you can there's different variations you can make on this. I mean, this stick really ought to be longer. You know, you could get more adjustment on there. There's just the two. You know, you could go for 3, 4, 5, as many as you wanted. I've used on this bank here, because there's a bit of a bank, this pole doesn't have to be quite as long. On this one, if you're on flat ground, you'd want it a lot longer, and probably another 2 feet. So if you were sort of like having it there, you can, you know, and then you've got other options of having it further over if you want your fire further away from your stick. But yeah, you know, it's not bad. That sits in there nicely, and it holds the pan firmly. You know, it's rocking around, it isn't falling out. So that's basically how you make a pot hanger. You know, you take this basic technique, and you play with it. You know, do various different different ways like I've described. But the best way is just get out there and do it. That's the best way to learn. And then you get used to it. You get used to making the cuts. Like on here, if you're using a softwood, it's going to be a lot easier to accidentally take off the points where you've carved in. Again on here, I mean, I went in a little bit too deep, but it's actually okay. It's 'cause it's holding pretty well. The only other thing you want to bear in mind is at the far end, because you're going to be, depending on how much weight you put in here, you might just want to make a peg, which you can just get another stick like this, cut it off at the bottom, just chamfer it off around there, just turn it upside down, and just peg it in at the bottom end, and that'll hold it in. If not, you can use a rock. That'd be fine. It's just basically, once you've got that weight in there, you don't want it to tip over. So that's pretty much it for this one today. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you've learned something from it. I just want to say thank you to everyone that's subscribed so far. It's very much appreciated. We're nice, building up a nice band of followers at the moment, which is lovely. It's going to be great to see the channel grow, and we get more, I get more subscribers coming in, get more people seeing these videos. Essentially, that's what anybody that makes a web series or anything on YouTube wants. That's why we do it. You want to get to a bigger audience. So, but yeah, thank you very much to everyone who has subscribed so far. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. If you've enjoyed this video, there's loads more. Just check out the channel, and there's loads more to come. I'm going to be doing it. I've said this before, but I'm going to be doing it all year round. So I'm going to be here in the autumn and the winter. I'm going to be doing various techniques with bushcraft and survival. But yes, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.